Hello and happy Friday, everybody out there. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's weekly market monitor. This is Brian McCarthy at Story Residential. I'm treating today special for all of my buyers out there. I feel like with everything going on, sounds like everybody could use a reassuring pat on the back. So that's how I'm treating today's market monitor. I've been hearing from various different places a few common concerns from buyers that haven't found the right property yet and are starting to think maybe it's a good time to hang out and wait and see what's going to happen. And I really hope that after today's chat, you'll feel a lot more comfortable and be able to answer two questions that I have for you, which is, does it make sense to wait right now? And for what? What are you going to wait for? I know things are a little bit crazy out there, but all the stats, all the research that I've done is specifically for you to make you feel better about getting into the market and why right now is actually the best time to do it. Actually, a year ago was probably the best time to do it. But if you're in the market right now, it's not a bad time, and it's much better than it's going to be 6 months from now or a year from now. Anyway, so what I'm going to demonstrate to you guys is, or illustrate here, basically two things. Supply and demand are by far the biggest drivers to the price and pricing in our market. And where we are in New Jersey here in North Jersey is pretty unique in that no one can predict supply and demand, but here we have a pretty good track record to illustrate what supply is like, which is very low. We are in a very urban area that is very, very close to Manhattan, very much a secondary market to Manhattan, which makes us very desirable. So supply is pretty much always going to be lower than the demand. Demand is going to be hot, especially when we're this close to Manhattan, which is a very expensive market right now. Brooklyn is a very expensive market right now. So everyone that's getting called back into work or just likes living close to Manhattan is going to need to find a place that's close enough. And if you're getting priced out of Manhattan, you're not ready to pay $1,000 plus per square foot. You're going to be looking in like the Hoboken, Jersey City, North Bergen, along the coast area. That's very easily commutable. So demand has been and will continue to be very high. And supply around here for all the people that are looking is relatively low. And our supply has actually gotten lower and lower year over year here for quite a bit of time, which is probably why you see prices still appreciating around here, and you might feel like you're getting priced out of the market, which is a good reason why you should get in now before it keeps going up. That was point number one. And point number two, let me just get back to it here, is interest rates, the second most important thing when it comes to buying in your purchase power. Those are going to keep going up. So let me just get right into it. It's enough of me talking. I have some visual things here that I want to share with you guys to illustrate these points, make you feel a bit better here. So let me just start sharing my screen. So mortgage rates real quick, guys. They're going up again. And if we've been looking back here, if you're tuning in every week, we have a couple days where, they take a little dip for a couple days, but steadily, I wish we could go back a few more months here on this graph. They've been keep going up. They've been going up for a while. At the end of the year, they were like high threes. Now we are near the end of Q1, and we're at 4.5 already. Still historically very low. But, I read some news, I think on Bloomberg yesterday or New York Times, that when the Fed met earlier this week, they decided 6 interest rate hikes this year. And this is the aftermath of that meeting and the first rate hike. So interest rates and the power of borrowing money, just being able to borrow money, is going to cost more and more as the year goes on. So let me get, all right, that, interest rates, that's one thing that's pretty cut and dry. I've been hearing from some people like, okay, Hoboken, Jersey City, whatever, it's hot right now. Maybe if I back off for a little bit, prices are going to settle down. I know there's a lot of inflation right now, just within our overall economy, and all over the world, and with world events happening right now. they are what they are, prices have been going up quite a bit and the cost of everyday things has been going up quite a bit. But that doesn't mean that real estate prices are going to depreciate. And here are three graphs that I found here talking about price acceleration probably leveling off but not falling. So that is, the terms here I want to go over are illustrated below, which is basically acceleration, deceleration, and depreciation. What some of my buyers are talking about right now is, okay, I'm going to wait until, a few months from now, a year from now, when the market is better and prices have depreciated. So making that one apartment that I liked, cost less money next year. Let's see, it's a $600,000 apartment. That same place next year is going to depreciate. It's going to be within my budget. It's going to be more advantageous for me to buy it later on down the line because it's going to be less than 600,000. That is not what anybody's predicting. And these are some heavy hitters in the real estate industry. What we are seeing is deceleration, and that's what we're predicting. So an acceleration means prices rise at a greater year-over-year pace than the previous month. A depreciation just means that home values continue to rise, but at a slower year-over-year rate of appreciation. So instead of it going, from 1 month at 1% appreciation, then 2, then 3, and it keeps accelerating, it just means that appreciation is, maybe it starts at 3 and then it's 2, or it stays steady. It just isn't increasing every month or year over year. It just has slowed down a little bit. That is what everybody is expecting, not depreciation. So that is one big difference I want to kind of drive home there. Going back to kind of the supply and demand, I went off a little bit on a tangent earlier when I was talking about this. Here's a graph to kind of illustrate this. Demand is high nationwide, but if you look on the side here, New Jersey and around this New York area is strong, leaning on the very strong. I don't want to even say it again. It's just a high demand area. People want to live here. We're near arguably the best city in the world. And there's always going to be people that want to live here. There's always going to be a ton of jobs in and around New York City. And it's always going to drive people here. And supply is low, and it's just been getting lower and lower. And, it's not necessarily, okay, I take that back. Supply is low. It has not necessarily been getting lower and lower because there are listings on the market. And I'm just going to jump over to this graph real quick. In the last 12 months, this lower line here, this is months of inventory. So even though there is supply, less supply than there is demand, the months of inventory, so the absorption rate has gotten lower this previous 12 months than had the 12 months prior to that. So that just means that the stuff that is coming on the market is getting sold very, very quickly. I went over this last month, and I don't want to go over it any more than just to say the number of sales nationwide has been increasing every year for the past 3 years, from like 400 million to 500 million to 600 million. There are more and more sales every year that we've been tracking it over the past couple of years. So homes are selling. They're just selling a lot quicker. So it is not necessarily an inventory problem. If you're looking around and you just can't find the inventory, maybe you're just not looking in the right place. Maybe you don't have the right agent. Maybe you don't have the right resources. Whatever it is, there is inventory. It's just going very fast. So you have to be ready to jump on it. So I'm going to just go back here. Supply, yes, it's low. It's low compared to demand, which is why things are going very quickly. And if we look here at New Jersey, very tiny, but in this lighter blue weak graph here, the only places that are even stable is Mississippi, Nevada, and Oregon. Seller traffic. So seller traffic, the number of listings on the market being just even strong is North Dakota right now. And what is this? Delaware. In New Jersey and all around this Northeast and just the east side of the country, it's weak, and pretty much throughout, the rest of the country as well. just going to leave it at that before I go off on another tangent. Let's keep rolling, right? So another thing I've been tracking, and if you are a renter as well, this is another thing I don't quite understand. For only people that are considering buying, and you're like, yo, maybe I'll just rent another year because prices are going to depreciate. Probably not going to be advantageous either. If your lease is coming to an end and you haven't had an opportunity to like get that renewal notice from your landlord, I would be asking for it quickly, because I can almost guarantee if they are smart and your landlord is following the rental market in and around like this Gold Coast area, they are probably most definitely going to ask for a rent increase. And if you leave, they're definitely going to jack it up. This just another example. This is on the Real Deal. This is an article that came out last month talking about, and this I posted on my Facebook page, just the craziness in the rental market right now, even in Brooklyn. This is just talking about one apartment in Brooklyn, using it as an example, where they put it on the market, refurbished railroad style unit with plenty of light, blah, blah, blah. It had rented before at $3,000. They were like, what should we put it at now? $3,450. It seemed like a lot. 75 people in 48 hours wanted to see this place. Had a single showing, for basically an open house, 90 minutes, 18 people saw the apartment. The winning bid got it for $3,800 as is, like didn't even want it painted. And I think, if I remember correctly, they didn't even see the apartment. They just saw the pictures online. And this is not uncommon in like the Hoboken area either. I just grabbed this real quick. This is everything that's just been reported on MLS, which is probably, definitely not everything, but that's been entered since the beginning of the year, just in Hoboken that's rented. Okay. So asking price to sold price, if you found an apartment like this time last year, maybe 2 years ago, you probably got a month or two free or some sort of incentive. That is not the case anymore. And as we've seen over here, there's like one apartment under 100%. A few apartments are getting rented for over asking price. And out of the 500 and something that made it on the MLS in the past 2.5 months, average days on market, less than 3 weeks, average listing price, and this is across every, size, over $3,000, and asking to rented price over full asking. And I'm honestly surprised that it's only 101%. I've seen similar situations recently to this example that they had on the Real Deal in Brooklyn, where, I put something on the market and within 24 hours, I have like 40 emails from people via Zillow, people willing to put in applications before they can even see it because they're tied up at work or like in another state. It's just crazy. So, if you're going to if you think staying put renting for a while is the way to go, I would strongly urge you to reconsider that. Maybe your rent is a little bit lower than what your budget is for buying, like on a monthly, or comparing it monthly, like maybe you're renting right now at $2,800 and the price range you're looking to buy and what you're pre-approved for is like maybe $3,000 a month. Seems like something more expensive. Well, yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive, but hey, at least at the end of the day, all that money you're paying every month is now gaining equity in your property instead of just bye-bye, never seen it again when you're paying rent. Already went over the mortgage rates. Normally I go through, kind of a daily, this is like a 24-hour or very recent, just stats around Hudson County and Bergen County that I'd go through like one by one. I want to keep this kind of short, or at least shorter than I normally do. I just, something I saw interesting here is that for Hudson County, normally when I do these, and I do probably at least one or two a month where I go through these, just reporting what's been going on in like the past couple hours, because we get these reports, past couple days, because we get these reports daily, is the number of price changes in Hudson County has gone down drastically. When I started doing these a few months ago, there would be like, 10 plus. This is the first week I can remember that we're under 10, and that the listing or asking price to the adjusted price has been under like 5%. it's less than 4% right now. So people are just making tiny incremental price adjustments because they know if they don't price it right on the market right away, you pretty much know right away because if you haven't had an offer on your property in like, obviously it depends exactly where you are, but if you're on for the more than the average days on market, you know you probably need a little bit of a price adjustment, and people are making these very incremental ones along the way. So that is pretty impressive. Bergen County always has some pretty low stats there as well. Yeah, see price change 2 for the past couple days here. And there, what's the price? Maybe that's not even accurate. Last price known. Yeah, maybe they just updated something else. But Bergen County is usually a lot less than Hudson County. Now the difference is, less than 10, the number of properties that are having price adjustments. So I already kind of went over this months of inventory here. Things are just getting scooped up really fast. And I like this other graph. Let me show you this. Contracts by price range. That just kind of backs up this argument. So the last 12 months here is in this lighter blue color, I guess. And then the previous year is this gray color. Look at the number of contracts per price range here in Hoboken. Under 5,000 or 500,000, 500,000 to 700, 700 to a million, outpacing in every category last year compared to the previous. So even though supply is weak, there are so many more people moving back now, and things are just getting snatched up so fast in every section of the market. There's more and more sales. So I'm just saying there is opportunity out there. So you just got to find it and you got to be ready to jump on it. And that means having a pre-approval and maybe even having like an underwriting pre-approval ready to go. I mean, there are strategies to this. Let's talk about it. If you're ready and you're getting fed up, maybe you put some offers in that aren't sticking. But if you are making offers, they should be like asking price if you're serious about it. This is the monthly report for Jersey City, just as a whole. What we're seeing here is pretty similar up until, middle of the market. Months of inventory went back down underneath what the other previous year was. There's a lot more affordable listings in just Jersey City as a whole underneath like the $1 million mark. But again, we're seeing the past 12 months, number of contracts and sales outpacing the previous 12 months across the board. So no percent asking price to list price throughout Jersey City, very high. February this year, closing out at 98%, which is right on track with what it was the year before. Just compare that to Hoboken. Condos, because there's only 4 contracts and 3 new listings. So I'm just going to do condos here. Asking price, 100% of everything that's closed compared to a year ago at 94%. There was a bit more room for negotiating last year, not really the case this year. And downtown Jersey City, 99% compared to 98% February last year. Very strong market there. One last thing. Okay, so last week, I mentioned this property at 700 Bloomfield that I almost bought when I first started real estate almost 10 years ago. And it is on the market again. And I made true on my promise here to go back and look at it because I wanted to show you guys what I found. Just to take, just as an example. Oh man, come on. Pending 700 field because they just accepted another offer. Unit number 2. Just as a prime example of what happens. I regret not buying this property. Let's be clear about that. When I had the chance. So we're just going to sort it by year that it sold. Right? Yes. Okay. Number 2. First time it was on, it was asking, wait here, where is close date? Close date. Okay, good. All right. Back in 2009, this is kind of an anomaly. Not even going to put it in here. That was before I was in real estate. More than 10 years ago, not so relevant. Okay, so this is when I first saw the apartment. Actually, it was this sale. So the first time these guys sold it, it was on the market for almost half a year. I wish they had pictures, but the ask 446 sold for less than asking price is what it is. I hadn't found a buyer. Then again, in 2014, so I saw this. I started real estate right at the beginning of this year. It was listed at 499. My wife and I put an offer in at 500,000, thinking we would wrap it up. And someone came in a little bit higher. And what they did was they waived the inspection, they waived the appraisal, two things that I make your offer very strong these days. I just wasn't educated enough to know what that really meant for me. And I kind of regret that I didn't. Anyway, they beat us by $4,000 just because their terms were better and another $4,000. I wish they had pictures here, but I swear it is the exact same apartment that just sold. No updates whatsoever, except for paint and a few new lights. Everything else is the same. Let's see what it did over the next couple of years. So these guys bought it and it closed in 2014, right at the beginning of the year for 504. Then it came on the market again a few years later. They were there for 3 years. 2017, now asking $690,000. Obviously, the broker marks H&B. That means highest and best offers by noon. They had multiple offers. The winning bid went $80,000 over asking price. I guarantee they waived appraisal, inspection, everything else. Here's your first glimpse of what this property looked like. And like I said, I swear it was the same 3 years before. Awesome patio, garage space right underneath the patio, but the apartment is small. It might technically be a 2-bedroom, but the second bedroom is an office, a nursery, like maybe a guest room. That's it. Nice coffered ceiling. I mean, it is a very nice apartment. It's just not a place. And as you can see by how many times it's changed hands and how long people stay there, it's not a great like long-term hold, especially if which is not great long-term for people that want to live there themselves. Maybe they start having kids or something like that, because there's just simply not enough room, even though it's a gorgeous apartment. So coffered ceiling, this is when it was green. Everything else is the same. Floors are the same. The lights are the same. Cabinets are the same. Kitchen is the same. Very nice. Open layout. Farmhouse sink, double cabinets, nice and tall. Bedrooms are in the back. My wife's main gripe about this was there's hardly any storage. Like in the bathroom here, there was this small cabinet and like a little bit of storage up here. There was like one closet in the hallway. This is that small room. This person used that as an office. You might be able to fit a bed that goes like wall to wall in here. But that's it. Master bedroom, pretty small, built-in storage down here. Lots of sunlight though. It's right on the corner. So this is the first bedroom. This is that office bedroom. This is the back over here with the living room and kitchen, your deck, and then the garage underneath it. Awesome location, great apartment, just not very big. People just don't stay there very long. Let's see what happened the next time. So that was 2017. Then it goes on the market again in 2019. So 2 years later, those guys got it for 770. They put it on the market for 779. It goes for 805. Again, highest and best offers, multiple offers, guarantee these people waived appraisals and inspections again, they bought it with a conventional loan, not necessarily cash. I mean, there are things you can do to make your offer stronger. So same apartment, fresh paint. I said new lights, but I think these are the same lights. I take that part back. Same floors, same kitchen, same cabinets, same deck. You know, it's hard to make an existing property bigger unless you have a whole house you're working with. You know, same bathroom, different paint, storage up here. Can't really, hard to add anything there. And that's it. Same place, sold again a couple years later. Whoops. I'm trying to print that for, what is that? $26,000 more than asking price. Okay. Now, present day, another almost 2.5 years later, Came on the market again. Just a couple. Wait, it came on the 9th. So 9 days ago for $824,900. I tried to show this. I tried to schedule an appointment to see this weekend, earlier this week. They said, we have too many offers already. We're calling for everyone's highest and best on Wednesday. It is now under contract. I guarantee for more than asking price, and still the same apartment. Nice deck, probably the same paint, same lights, same kitchen, same floor. Show me the bedrooms. Yes, the pictures are lovely. Same bedroom, same storage, one closet in the master. They had it as a nursery. Probably maybe they're having a second kid, or this one's getting bigger. One needed more space. I mean, there's just lack of closets in here. You have kids, you got a lot of stuff. No closet in the bedroom, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is just the wall over here. Not knocking at all. It's a gorgeous place. Like I said, I wish I'd bought it. It would have been great for a couple of years. I wish I'd bought it, not because I would still live there, but because of the amount of money I would have made. So this is just one anecdotal example of, a property in Hoboken. Granted, it has a ton of value with the parking and outdoor space, but it's not like incredible. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And this is the appreciation we've seen in the 8 years or whatever that I've been doing real estate. So let this be an example to you guys that now might not be ideal because we're not like going through, a huge dip in the market. Things have not depreciated. It's not just like a glaring, great time to snatch up real estate. But I can almost guarantee you, without having a crystal ball and being able to see it in the future, all signs point to now is the time to buy. If you are thinking about it, it's not. If you are prepared and you're thinking about it, next year, a couple months down the line, is not necessarily going to be better, at least not financially, in terms of borrowing money, and not better opportunity in terms of like prices of properties around here. So anyway, I'm going to take a breath. I hope everyone found that informative and I didn't ramble too much and it was easy to follow. I hope you feel better about that, but I'm going to reiterate my two questions to you, which is, do you think it's really going to be better to wait just based off of that? And, for what? What are you waiting for? If it's not just a financial thing, maybe your situation's changed, with your life or whatever, that's a different conversation to have. But if you're just hanging back, looking to wait because you think the market's going to be better in a little while, I hope you rewind and just watch this again, or even better, call me and let's talk about it. As always, I appreciate all your time, all your comments and feedback. Once again, I hope you found this informative. Look forward to hearing from each and every one of you guys. Give me a call. My number is 617-851-9141. You can reach me via email at brian.mccarthy@compass.com. I'm on social media at Brisays, Brisays. And, would love to take you out for a coffee or a Guinness or whatever it is. I'd like to see your beautiful faces. Have a great weekend, everyone. I will be back here, same time, same channel on Friday. Wishing everybody the best, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.